Good morning.
Morning. Am I really early or am I 5 minutes late? I can never remember.
7:45,
Got it.
but I always jump up here about 7:30. So you're looking for board members, huh?
Yeah, we've got a couple of openings right now, and then a couple of others of us that are rolling off here in the next year. So we're reaching out to some folks that we think would be good, pools of people to join us.
Well, I'll tell you what, we've been trying to get her a check too. Left her,
Jennifer?
Jennifer,
Yep.
a check too from the Christmas money, and it's been tough getting a hold of her. And I've left her voicemails and emails, and so anything you can do to help, we sure would like to get that taken care of.
Yeah. In fact, I can, if you want me to, I can get the check from you and I'll make sure it gets to her,
Okay.
deposited. I'm the treasurer for the board.
Got it. Well, we'll get it to you. I'll probably try and get a hold of you this week, and we'll get that done. Get a picture taken, and you can get it in the bank.
Excellent. Yep. Be happy to do that. And she's got her hands full with obviously, minimal people there to help, and still the clientele is growing.
So how are they going? How are they doing meals and all that? And how's it going right now?
She's actually done a pretty amazing job in figuring out how to. We started out kind of in the middle of the year doing sack lunches. So we were doing that. And if you know the layout of Let's Help, there's like a bay in the back,
Right.
that's kind of elevated. So they were up there and they had these tables and they would essentially slide the sack lunches down to people that were, outside walking, coming by to get them.
Mhm.
She has since in the last couple of months been able to provide hot meals for, those lunches, which is what, one of the main things that Let's Help does on a day-to-day basis. But because we have a few volunteers that are coming back now and we have a little more manpower to help out, she's actually been able to do that. We're doing probably 3 times as many boxed food packages for families, which are, anywhere from 3 to 5 days worth of food for a family. We're doing tons of that. And picking up GED classes again. We got students back in the building for GED classes, socially distanced and all the other stuff. Our older Kansans program is still pretty much hands off. That's a high risk population. So we're still there and active and doing it, but it's different.
Well, for those that feel comfortable enough, when do you think you're going to be ready to have some volunteers again for the meals?
That is kind of undetermined at this point. We talk about it each month in our board meeting, but right now it's probably not going to be until closer to the middle of the year, maybe later summer. And the main driver for that actually is the people that prepare the lunchtime meals are SEER workers, that's a federal program run at the state level, but those SEER workers are who prepare those Monday through Friday meals, and they're not back yet. They're not allowed to come back yet.
Right.
And I think once we get that that'll kind of be the green light for us to start spinning up having more volunteers come in, because we just don't want to risk people, obviously, getting sick in the community through
Right.
contact.
Well, keep us posted on that.
Yep, definitely will.
Probably will. That's not the answer I want to hear.
I said definitely.
Morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. President.
Morning, Mr. Governor.
Morning, everybody.
We're so quiet today. What's wrong?
I know.
Long first full week back for many of us, I think.
Anybody's dealing with HR or COVID or staffing, my heart goes out to you because it's a rough time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know. WIBW, we've got a whole lot of action going on where we're basically all at home now again, and emails going out left and right. It's been fun.
Well, you
Well,
know,
Jason, my God, I think he's probably had over 100 unemployment claims over the last false unemployment claims on employees that he's had to deal with over the last just month, not the last 6 months,
right.
but just the last month.
Yeah.
2,800 a day.
Yep. I got pulled into that about, I swear it's half our staff have had claims made in their names. I know at least half of our executive team and middle managers.
Somebody at Civic, and I won't give any names because, of course, confidentiality, but they got not only that, but then they got the stimulus check deposited in somebody else's account. They didn't get it, and now the IRS is saying, "Yeah, I'm sorry, we sent it." It's she's having a hard time getting that back. So I don't think she will.
Yeah, he may not.
My wife and I both got unemployment notices that we had filed. And then as employers, we got the employer notice that we had filed. Both of us. Crazy.
On mine, luckily they had the last digit of my social wrong, so it didn't go through, but what a mess.
If somebody's both on their computer and their phone, they need to mute one.
Thank God I wasn't the only one hearing that. I got a little nervous.
I muted him.
Hearing what, Jim?
I thought it was a good beat.
It was awesome getting down with it.
Getting jiggy with it.
Yes, sir.
I must
Getting
have come on
jiggy
at
with
the,
it. Will
I must have,
Smith.
I came on at the perfect time because I just thought it was like our monthly fire drill or something.
There you go. I thought I had COVID. Get that ringing in the ear.
Too soon.
Too current.
All right. Looks like 7:45. So why don't we go ahead and get started? Although not today, but let's do it. Well, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the first meeting of 2021. Let's see your smiling faces, and here we are again. It's been a long 3 weeks. Hope you and yours have had a wonderful holiday season and New Year. It's been an interesting start to the year, hasn't it? I don't know about you guys, but I needed to see your guys' faces. So I'm going to go ahead and we're going to go ahead and get it started with this invocation and pledge. And this morning it'll be led by Lee Hartman. Lee?
Morning, everybody. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay, please join me in a prayer. Heavenly Father, Almighty God, we come before you today with thanksgiving for the blessings you have bestowed on our great nation, as well as on our state and city, and for the opportunities afforded to us within this organization. We ask for your continued blessings and also your wisdom in dealing with the serious problems facing us in our country today. In Romans 12:12, we are told to be joyful in hope, patient in affliction, and faithful in prayer. In Colossians 3:12, we are told to Clothe yourselves with compassion, kindness, humility, gentleness, and patience. Help us to examine ourselves and see how we can make a difference in seeking forgiveness, peace, and unity in our nation and in our community. Grant us wisdom and discernment. Help us to stay humble and to show kindness, tolerance, mercy, and love for our fellow citizens. In Jesus' name, amen. Please join me now with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag
To the flag
of the United
of the
States of
United
America,
States of America,
to the republic
to the
for
republic
which it
for which
stands,
it stands,
one nation,
one nation,
under God,
under God,
indivisible,
indivisible,
liberty and
liberty
justice
and
for all.
justice for all.
Thank you, Lee. All right, guests. Jessica, do you have a guest this morning?
I do. I have Jody Vickery joining us again today for our meeting. I think she's here, right?
Yep. Good morning.
Yay. Good morning,
Jody, how you doing?
Doing well, thank you.
Good, good. Do we have any other guests or visiting Rotarians with us this morning? Okay, not having any. We'll move on to the announcements. Patrick O'Kane has an announcement for Let's Help. Patrick.
Thank you, President Jim. I just wanted to let the board or the group here know that the board of directors of Let's Help is looking for a couple of new members. We've got some folks that are rolling off here this year, and we would be happy to talk to anybody in this club or anybody that some of you may know through your contacts that might be a good fit for the board at Let's Help. If you have, I won't go too much into the mission and stuff. I think most of you know what Let's Help does, but if not, feel free to reach out to me. I'll be happy to talk to you or talk to anyone interested and answer any questions and kind of fill you in on what that means and what it would entail in terms of time and things like that.
All right. Thank you, Patrick. And for those of you that were not on early, we were having a little bit of a conversation. It looks like probably mid-year, probably summer at the earliest, that we'll probably be able to go back and help volunteer over at Let's Help, but I'll keep you posted on that. And Patrick will keep us posted. So just so you know, Governor Barr, do you have any announcements for us this morning?
I do have a couple. First of all, our numbers are showing up at Rotary International now, and we are showing that we have contributed over $10,000 to Polio Plus, which is higher than any other club in our district by far. So congratulations. This is a very successful run. And also, as far as the annual share fund for us, we're halfway to our goal on that as well. Jim set a goal that's been set for a while of 13,000 for our club, and we're 48% there. So once again, great job, guys, because we're moving right along and looking really good as far as the district is concerned. And something that Patty might want to chime in here a little bit on. We have the numbers to start a new club in this district. We're at 24 right now, and we actually have a couple of others that are interested in joining as well. So this is moving right along very well. And we also, really good news is we're right on the cusp. We've just submitted, or have we submitted yet, Patty, both the global grants yet? We're right on the cusp. We're right on the cusp of submitting 2 different global grants that would benefit two different areas in Kansas City. Did you want to speak to that, Patty?
We're just waiting on partners, international partners, and one of the partners is Taiwan, and one hopefully is India, a different district in India. So we're waiting on response from them at this point before we can do the final submission.
Very good. And we're expecting that to happen here very soon, because we've already heard from Taiwan and we know that they're on board. So that's the news that's going on in the district right now. There's quite a bit of other activity. Something that's going to roll out here fairly soon is we are partnering with 5680, which is the other district that's in this state. And we are gathering signs. That's called a Smiles Project. And these signs are going to have a smiley face on one side, a rotary wheel on the other side, and then we're going to have 2 rectangular signs. And we're going to be using this to promote people to get their vaccinations. And this is going to be free to every club. There's 10 of the round signs, 2 of the rectangular signs. And Neil Wakefield, who is with the Village West Club, he is going to go down in a couple of weeks and pick them up. And there will be a kit available for every single club, free. And the ideas behind this is going to be to help promote different people for maybe accomplishments and so forth. Jason Camus, our public image chair, he's wrapping up the whole idea behind this, but be expecting something to come out here very soon. And it would be great if this club could be a part of that.
Thank you, Governor Barr. Signs, signs, everywhere there's signs. I feel a song coming on. So you all know, we're going to remain virtual again for quite some time. As you know, the numbers are a little out of control. Washburn, of course, is out for the rest of the Rotary year. Hopefully they can come back on when Ashley takes over. COVID numbers, just got to stay virtual. That's all there is to it. We'll continue to make the best of what we can on Zoom. So please hang in there with us, keep connected, and keep coming to the meetings on Friday. David Oliver, are you on? No, don't know if David's done or if he's going to be in the playoffs. So I want to keep you posted when I hear from him. I don't know. Well, let me see. Is he on? He's not. I'm going to probably wait to go into any details, but just so you know, he has agreed to a fundraiser sometime after the season is over, where he is going to have an evening with an NFL ref. If it's small enough, we can probably do something distance, but if not, it'll be virtual. But I know when he presented last year, there was a lot of interest in extending that longer and finding out more of what he does. So he's agreed to do that. We're going to tie it into a fundraiser for Topeka South. So more on that to come. Does anybody else have any other announcements that they'd like to share with the club?
President Jim, I don't have an announcement, but I was just curious or hoping that we could expand a little bit about that. The new club, is that the E-Club in regards to human trafficking? Okay, so there might be some people that aren't aware of exactly what that is. So Patty, could you just give us a quick synopsis in case people might be interested?
Sure. So this is a new cause club. And the only cause that they have is human trafficking, fighting human trafficking through education, assistance to victims, and advocacy. And we need to have 20 members to charter the club. We have 24 at this time. So we're just looking for officers to fill out the board so that we can get chartered. I'd be happy to have anybody join the club if that's your cause, but you need to know that you can only belong to one club. You can attend as many meetings as you want, and all of the meetings are by Zoom, the first and third Tuesday of the month at noon. But if you want to join, you have to resign your membership in this club. So I haven't resigned my membership, and I'm not planning to because I like my club. But of course I attend every meeting because I'm the advisor for the club. So thank you, Ashley, for the question.
Yeah, so if anybody has any friends you know of that'll be interested in that as well, please pass that word along. I'm sure they'd love to have them. Alicia Shipman, I haven't forgotten about you. We're going to get you inducted this upcoming week. So we'll stay tuned for that. Other than that, if there's no other announcements, I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Jessica to introduce our speaker. Jessica.
Good morning, everyone. Yes, I am very excited to introduce you to our speaker today, although many of you have already met Tiffany as one of our newest club members. But she is going to give a vocational today for us so that we can learn even a little bit more about her. So what I do know is that she is the Director of Hospice at Midland Care. She is a soccer mom to 3 adorable boys, so she says, and I'm sure we're going to get to meet them someday. And so with that, I think I'm just going to go ahead and turn it over to Tiffany so that you can share a little more about yourself.
Good morning, everyone. Let me get my presentation pulled up and I will share my screen. Can you guys see that? Perfect. So my name's Tiffany Brubaker. For those of you that haven't met me yet, I am a nurse by trade, and the CHP stands for being a certified hospice and palliative care nurse. I loved Eleanor Roosevelt's quote, "The future belongs to those who believe in the beauty of their dreams." This is my family. However, I realized that we haven't had pictures in a while. The youngest, the baby's now 4. So I know what my 2021 goal is for this year, family pictures. It's a little bit more recent picture. This is Bo, he's 4 years old. He attends Susanna Wesley Pre-K. Tyler is 12. Sorry, babe. And he's 6th grader at Jay Scheidler. And then Troy is now 16, driving, and a high schooler sophomore at Washburn Rural. That is my husband, Darren Brubaker. And for our hobbies, we like to vacation. So thank you, Advisors Excel, for helping with those journeys. We won't stay on that picture too long. And I like to volunteer. 2 agencies that I'm very committed to are the American Cancer Society. So Darren and I did chair the 2020 Corks and Forks Gala, and we are co-chairs with Dr. Jared and Melissa Elliott for the 2021. Shameless plug, if you're free on the 18th or the 16th this year, we are having a wine and food pairing from Topeka Country Club with a virtual silent auction. So if you're interested, please let me know. And then my second big committee that I'm committed to is the Junior League of Topeka, where I am on their leadership council and the sustaining member chair and the nominating committee. And then I will need to add Rotary Club as secretary to the board. I graduated nursing school from Washburn School of Nursing in 2010. Prior to management, I worked as a bedside nurse at Stormontvale. So I worked inpatient oncology, palliative care, and medical ICU. I've also taught nursing school. So I've taught both the LPN program at Washburn Tech and the BSN program for Baker School of Nursing adjunctively. And then I've recently joined Midland. Midland is this amazing not-for-profit organization in our community. It started with a group of women in 1978 who just wanted to bring holistic, meaningful care to the end-of-life experience. It's interesting in our community and how sometimes God works in mysterious ways. And so Junior League of Topeka actually had a very significant impact to the start of Midland Care when it was Topeka Hospice Inc. Midland Care does provide the continuum of care. So I'll go into the programs a little bit later, but this demonstrates how we support you through senior services to end-of-life care and afterwards. We have home health, Thrive at Home, palliative care, hospice services, including the only hospice house in our community. And then we have the Grief and Loss Center off of 6th. That is bereavement services. That is Medicare provided for if you've lost someone on our service for 13 months. However, we do extend that to really anyone in the community seeking grief and loss services. And then we have PACE, and I was not aware of what PACE was until joining Midland, which is a shame because I try to pride myself on advocacy for seniors in our community. And PACE is a very comprehensive service line. It's called Program for All-Inclusive Care of the Elderly. And they really act as they receive the insurance funds and then act as that insurance provider. So if you've ever worked with insurance, it's a nightmare trying to get things authorized, things they don't pay for. So PACE really has broadened that access, that healthcare access for seniors in our community. And you do need to qualify. Most of our Applicants or participants are Medicaid eligible. So if anyone's aware of that Medicaid eligibility, they do tend to have a lot of barriers to health access and disparity in healthcare. So PACE really works with them to provide transportation, connect them to Meals on Wheels, which is also a Midland program, to provide even hearing aids and dental care, things you don't really normally consider as part of insurance care. And then we have residential care. So we have assisted living in Valley Falls and the Homes Plus, and then we provide overnight respite at the hospice house. We have been selected to do a 24 for Life pre-diabetes program. That is a participant for any age, 18 and older. If you're interested in identifying if you are at risk for diabetes and whether you qualify for the program, please let me know. But this is a program that provides diabetes education and support through regular meetings to help reduce that risk of prediabetes converting to actual diabetes. I'd already mentioned Meals on Wheels. And then we do have a significant event every year called the Memory Walk. And if you've attended this, this year looked a little different, and I had just joined, so I did not get to see it in its full glory. But it's seeing the luminaries lined up of ones we've lost in our community is very powerful, and it's a time for families to come and remember. And there's bands and there's bounce houses, and it's just such a fun event. We also host grief camps for children, and not in COVID years. And then we have our annual memorial tree. We do service most of Northeast Kansas. We've provided nearly $1 million in charity care this past year to Topeka's citizens and surrounding communities. That is all I have about myself and Midland Care. Does anyone have any questions?
Tiffany, it's Ashley. So I'll just own up to my stupidity. I have heard about the term palliative care, but I actually don't know that I know what that really means. So what is palliative care?
Absolutely. So palliative care is kind of an in-between program. It's more of a consulting program in addition to whatever healthcare you normally receive. Often, especially in chronic illness, there's a pain element. And so palliative care really works on symptom management. They are certified in pain and symptom management. And so they work alongside your normal healthcare providers to find relief for those symptoms. They focus on just the symptom management and trying different plans. Most of us should know that Kansas recently has really tightened our access, understandably so, to controlled substances. So it does make some providers it provides barriers to people who are truly experiencing pain or symptoms. So we're going to referred providers that specialize in this, it kind of helps decrease that access so that we have quality of life, not just quantity. Now, I say that, and it is not similar to the pain clinic. So like Stormont has a pain clinic. They do a lot of injections, cortisone injections, things that help with pain. This is more pain that coincides with chronic diseases.
Any other questions? Go ahead.
Oh, I was going to see if anybody else had questions, but it sounds like Jim might.
Yeah, I have a question. Is there a time limit on hospice care as far as being covered?
Sure. So it's interesting with hospice because you do have that 6-month prognosis from 2 physicians. Now, a prognosis is not a timeline or a deadline. It's simply, would we be surprised if this terminal illness led its natural trajectory? We've had hospice patients on for years. We've had hospice patients graduate. Medicare has very specific eligibility guidelines, and as long as you continue to meet those guidelines, you continue hospice care. It's evaluated at 90 days, 90 days, and then every 60 days thereafter.
Can One more question. Can that care be provided in an assisted living atmosphere?
As of now, Medicare does not restrict where we provide hospice care. So we've had members in long-term care, assisted living, independent living, congregate housing, under the Topeka Bridge. As long as you have an address we can notify Medicare of, we can provide care anywhere. And it's not just, Medicare is the largest payer source for hospice simply because of the nature of Medicare with that 65 and older population and the nature of hospice. But we provide pediatric hospice care. We accept commercial insurances, Medicaid, and then we are the largest provider, I believe, of charity care for hospice care if you do not have an insurance provider that covers it.
Thank you.
Tiffany, what was it that drew you to hospice care for your specialty in nursing?
You know, it's interesting because I did not want to do hospice at first, because it just seems like it'd be so hard to accumulate so much loss over you. You build a relationship with a patient, and in the home care setting, you really do build that relationship. You see your same patients, your assigned caseloads. When I was a bedside nurse, I remember making a medication error. And I thought, I can't believe I did this. I'm so thorough. How could this ever happen? And it was just a lot of variables stacked against me for the day. So I went back the next day, you shake it off, you sleep, you go back the next day for your next 12-hour shift. And guess what I did? I made the same mistake. And it was not a major mistake, but to me, I'm a perfectionist, and I realized I wanted to go into management. And I was offered an opportunity at Interim Healthcare to be their director of private duty. Private duty is a line of business that you pay usually aid services to come into the home to help you age in place. So they can help cook, clean, grocery shop. I managed about 200 employees through that line of business. And it was my purpose to provide a platform for healthcare professionals of advocacy, safety, and accountability. With Interim Healthcare, they really wanted to offer the continuum of care. They were known for home health and their private duty, and they had not started hospice yet. So I did start Interim Healthcare's hospice line of business. And I was with Interim for 5 years, and that was a wonderful journey. But it is hard to start any business. Any business owners in here can tell you starting a business is very challenging, and it wasn't my business. So I did move to Midland for a better work-life balance. I don't know that I answered your question. Oh, how I got to hospice. So that is how I got to hospice. I was in management, and that opportunity opened, and I did not want to start hospice. I just really grew private duty. I said, I need, this is finally going well and smoothly. And we had a situation in our community where my private duty clients were having hospice errors in care. And I'm a fierce advocate for our patients. And I thought, this is not acceptable. And I was complaining one day, how can this hospice do this? And how can this hospice do that? And the owner, Joe Harrison, looked at me and said, well, are you going to complain? She didn't use that word. Are you going to do something? And so I said, fine, I will start a hospice company. Let's show them how it's done. So that is how I got connected to hospice.
Tiffany, this is Cindy Hornberger. It's very heartwarming to me to see our graduates be so successful. And I'm going to encourage you to get your DNP one of these days because you've already been practicing a lot of the skill sets that you'll be expanding in that degree. But what's the future aspirations of Midland? What do they hope to do in the next 1 to 3 years?
Certainly. So I can speak to hospice, not Midland as a whole. We recently have had Sean Sullivan join our organization. And Karen Weichert is amazing. She's a visionary. And so we've started a number of projects. There's even a few more that's not on there, like MCC, which is a Medicare choice model we're a pilot for. Initially PACE, which ended up being very successful, we were a pilot for. The prediabetes program nationwide, we were a pilot for. So we've started all these ancillary programs, and I think for the next year, we really want to focus on what we're doing and doing it well. And so that's my goal with hospice. I'm really going through from a systems approach and re-identifying the structures, the processes, the procedures. We're in our survey window. So just really making certain what we're doing and where we want to be in the future. We have a springboard for that of a solid foundation.
Thank you.
No, thank you. And thank you for your work with Washburn University and your leadership there.
Hey, Tiffany and Cindy, we got people asking what in the world your DNP acronym meant.
Doctor of Nursing Practice. It's the equivalent of MD, which is both of them are practice doctorates, and Washburn has had a practice doctorate now for about 5 years. And it prepares people, quite honestly, it's a unique program that has both a business component and a practice component. So it really does prepare people for administrative and managerial roles in leading clinics and businesses.
I'd like to second that. I have a DNP, and it's uniquely positioned me to be an executive at this agency.
Yeah, I could second Dr. Seidlinger's comment. I tell you what, Laura Seidlinger, and by the way, Vallejo so depends heavily on Washburn University and the great folks over there. Thank you. We just wouldn't be where we are without them. But Dr. Seidlinger is the first medical director who is not an MD or a DO in a mental health center in the state of Kansas. And, we have a wonderful group of medical directors around the state in our mental health centers, but Laura has paved the way there. So, I really appreciate the work that all nurses do. And I think this is a great time to say thank you to all nurses at every practice level who are on the front line, including our own Dr. Seidlinger, who gets in there every day.
This is about Tiffany. This is about Tiffany today.
I know, but I have to tell you, it's all of you guys. Thank you.
Yes, and Laura, also thank you for your commitment to the Ronald McDonald House. And I saw you at Couture. So thank you for supporting American Cancer Society.
Well, thank you. Yeah, those are my two passions. American Cancer Society, being a survivor, and then the Ronald McDonald House because of my husband's work with the newborn intensive care unit at Starmont. And this is my my presidential year at Ronald McDonald House. So I'm sure you'll be hearing from me, y'all.
Did you get that, Jennifer? Or Jessica? Jennifer. All right, really? So is there any other questions for Tiffany?
I have a question. I just wanted to say that I had an experience with Midland Hospice years ago when my father went there, and was very impressed with the care that he received. And also recently I had seen more and more of the articles in the Topeka Health and Wellness magazine that I publish about the different things that Midland does. I'm always surprised at all the different kinds of care that I just wanted to ask, what do you think is maybe the service or the kind of care that you do there that most people don't know about?
I was quite surprised about our level of charity care. And that extends through home health. Our home health is growing, so that's probably the least recognized service line is our home health. Jeremy Wilkes from St. Francis has recently come over and spearheaded our home health department, and it has tripled in the last 6 months. Home health, my grandfather has used that. And there's sometimes a time between the time, healthcare is at a challenging juncture in our nation, in our community. And so every program, the hospitals included, have stipulations in program eligibility. And so sometimes the hospital, you can't go home, but you can't stay here. I always seen closing time when I would discharge these patients in the back of my mind. And so finding in-home service providers that help fill the gap is crucial. And so Midland has really invested recently in the home health department, because that really helps anyone who is homebound, who might need physical therapy, rehabilitational therapy, such as occupational therapy, bathing services, nursing services. So you get into the hospital and they love to change your medicines all up. So that really helps people maintain living in the home environment. And I cannot speak high enough for home health of getting, if you've had something that requires rehab and it's just too arduous to get out and get into a rehab facility, home health is an amazing asset. And it also helps assess you in your home environment so that you're building ways to work within your actual environment and accommodations.
Tiffany, Kathleen Marker asks, approximately how many folks does Midland employ?
I believe we're around 400 and we serve between 1,700 and 1,800 Northeast Kansas every day.
Mm-hmm. I saw that you also posted a picture of the celebration walk, and then I think this year virtually you went to a memory tree type format. How are you planning on moving forward to that? And are you combining the two, or pretty much are essentially the same thing, correct? Other than the bands and.
Certainly, I do not believe that Jennifer has any plans on ever combining the two. And when you attend, they have very different feels, very different purposes. And I had the privilege of being in the cold and volunteering. We did have a physical component to the memory tree this year. So we did have the luminaries lined up in the courtyard. We had the Christmas lights up. And to see the few who braved the cold come and have that moment with that luminary is very powerful process to be a part of. So if you attend them, they're very, very different feelings for the event. One is much more holiday. It's a little, I wouldn't say somber, but it's holidays with a loved one lost are hard. And it's recognizing and respecting and allowing an individual the space to process that. Whereas the walk is a little bit more jovial atmosphere. It's a little bit more like a backyard party. And I don't want to use the term party, but it's more that celebration of life as opposed to the memory tree, which is a little bit more of a remembrance time.
Okay, well, anything else? No? Well, thank you, Tiffany. I really appreciate all the information. It's wonderful. I appreciate you taking the time this morning. Welcome, Jody. Welcome back. Hope to get that application in and get you going. And now let's go ahead and end our first meeting of 2021 with our four-way test. So, of the things
we think, say, or do,
is it the
is it the
truth?
truth? Is it fair to all concerned?
Will it build goodwill and better friendships?
Better friendships? Will it be beneficial to all concerned?
And
is it fun?
Fun.
Everyone have a wonderful weekend, and we'll see you all next week.
Thanks, Jim. Take care.